What's up, everybody? This is Chase Gerbic. Welcome back to the Gerbic Performance Podcast, brought to you by the Baseball Blue Book. Today, we have a very special guest, Coach Adrian Santiago. He played at Oakton Community College, was a two-time JUCO All-American, academic All-American, very, very impressive. Pitched at Webster, was all-region, and he coached at Quincy, which is just a top-tier program every single year. Coached at Northwestern. Now he's back at Webster, serving as the pitching coach over there. Coach, thanks for coming on today.
Absolutely, Chase. Thanks for having me, man. It's a small world, right? It's funny how things work out.
Absolutely. Well, number one, I'm so appreciative you could make it on here. Obviously, known you for quite some time, and love your knowledge and love your personality, and think that you have a lot to share on the baseball side. Obviously, you've been through it as a player. You're going through it now as a coach, and you're kind of seeing all this right now. And with the platform that not only Gerbic Performance has, but the Baseball Blue Book has, it's a lot of players, parents, and coaches who are all filtered in, trying to get to the next level. Or if you're a coach, trying to send your player to the next level, or parent trying to send your kid to the next level. So for you've coached at just a lot of tremendous schools, especially now where you're at Webster. Very, very good school academically, and just a great baseball program with top tier facilities. And we'll get into that in a minute. But, for players looking to play at the next level, how do you find players for your program?
It's changed a lot. I'm kind of in a new era of recruiting where, a lot of it is done through social media. A lot of it is done through just connections with coaches you trust and advisors you trust across the country. But nonetheless, I am out on the road 8 weeks out of the summer, almost every week out of the summer, except for maybe one or two. I'm at a school where the level doesn't really restrain us from recruiting outside of just our state. So during the summer, we stay pretty local, but we'll get out to Arizona, Texas, California, and stuff like that. And we just kind of found a niche out there for our school specifically. We had the academics and the baseball facilities, but the price factor really comes in when kids are at that level being recruited by schools out there on the West Coast, especially. But a lot of in-person recruiting, I like doing. I'm kind of crazy. Guys call you crazy if you like being out on the road, and I do. I like traveling. I like networking and meeting coaches and meeting not just college coaches but travel ball coaches, and you can always pretty quickly tell the teams that practice the fundamentals right, how they take pregame, how they go about everything before the game until they actually throw that first pitch. So, the recruiting stuff is awesome. It's always changing, and we're just trying to stay ahead of the curve and keep Webster on the map as a premier Division III school.
Absolutely. Now you talk about a lot about going out and seeing guys in person, which is so important. Not only to see them play in person, but obviously if they're old enough where you can recruit them, you can put a name to a face, you can talk to them, kind of see their personality, meet their family. I think that's so important. But nowadays everybody has a phone, everybody has a social media. Talk about the importance of that. Talk about when you're first kind of navigating or looking for a player for a certain position. Talk about the importance of you using social media to get to the next level.
I think social media is a extremely, extremely crucial tool to athletes these days. I grew up in the time when social media was finally getting big, but nothing like you see the Flat Ground app, and you see a lot of these Twitter pages that promote players for free online popping up. And I wish I was an athlete around that time, but when we're recruiting kids off social media, it's easy to be fooled. It's easy to be fooled by social media videos and stuff like that. But kids that are upfront and honest, you always want to put what your intended major is, what your GPA is, stats that you have from the summer and from high school always help, right? We're a little bit old school too. I'm going to talk to your travel ball coach, but I also really care about what your high school coach has to say about you, because typically those guys are your gym teacher, your history teacher. They see you in the hall, interact with all your other fellow classmates and stuff, and they know who you are outside of baseball. So the social media is literally just the tip of the iceberg. It allows us to have access to kids in places that we might not be able to get to. This year on our recruiting class, we have kids all the way from West Virginia to sunny San Diego to Arizona to Texas and everywhere in between. So it's been it's a very, very unique class of kids we just brought in. But you'll hear our head coach say it a lot on visits is we're not just recruiting an easy, athlete that we can just get out of our backyard. We're recruiting to find the right fit. We want to recruit the right athlete, not the convenient one is the word I was looking for. So we do our due diligence. We're very serious about, the background of a kid, family life, all that stuff. Obviously grades are important, your class schedule, what kind are you challenging yourself in the classroom? And, we want the best players on every team. We do not shy away from kids that we never see a kid and think that kid is too good for Webster. I'm going to call and reach out to every kid. As you're probably learning now, this business is a lot more no's than yeses. And that's what comes with the job. So, but I love making connections. The relationships part is a big part for me as a coach, with the recruiting. But, the social media thing is the tip of the iceberg, and I highly encourage kids to use it.
So when you're looking for guys on social media, I know obviously you're a big in-person guy, and you're using social media to the best of your ability to essentially find guys for your program. So, for kids who are just getting into it, don't know how to use it, or even kids who are just trying to propel themselves to the next level, what are some things they can do on social media that'll help them stand out?
In your bio, it's always a good thing to have your high school team, what high school team you play for. If you're on varsity, JV is always a big thing. Your travel ball team. Some kids put their phone numbers. I'm always, that we can DM you through that and just get that right away. But, so there's nothing wrong with putting that out there. I just think, sometimes it's better to keep some of that stuff to yourself. But GPA in the bio is a big thing. If you know your major, your intended major, and, if a lot of kids these days have been putting like open to all possibilities or all levels, and not pigeonholing themselves to specific schools when they're posting their videos. Game film always speaks volumes. You hitting against a live pitcher is a lot better than me seeing your swing in a cage, or me seeing you throw a bullpen to a net or whatever that might be. I want to see what you're doing when there's a batter in the box or when there's a pitcher on the mound, the videos you upload, ending it with stats or beginning it with your stats, or attaching a link to your high school stats and your spring or your summer stats as well, is a huge thing, and a lot of the time we do that background check on our own, but that just makes it easier for coaches to check all the boxes and then reach out to you in a quicker manner. I do my due diligence before I'm reaching out to kids, because I don't want to waste their time and I don't want to waste my time. We want to make sure that everybody's happy, and it's a possibility. Like I said, we get more no's than yeses, but that's just part of it. And, we try and promote ourselves in a positive light, where at the end of the day, we're here for the kids. So, but in a long story short, the social media stuff, just the bio is a big thing, because that's the first thing we see when we get to your profile, and tagging the right accounts, I should say, is a big thing.
I love that too, because I think that goes hand in glove with sending emails as well, because I both know you get a lot of emails, and to filter those down, you need that attractive subject line. I think that goes hand in glove with the bio and the social media profiles, to have something that helps you stand out from the rest there. But a minute ago, you kind of mentioned finding the right fit, whether that's obviously for the program and for the player, but for players going through the recruiting process, maybe they have one offer, maybe they have several, maybe they don't even have an offer yet, but are looking to play at the next level. How can players find that right fit for them?
Be proactive in doing your research, be diligent in it. If you're undecided in your major, that's never a big deal. As you said at the beginning, I went to a community college, and I had good grades. I did not have to go to a community college. It was financially easier for me. But I also didn't know what I wanted to study. I just knew I wanted to play baseball. So if you know what you want to study, and that's the first step to limiting your schools. There's some kids, a very popular major that we've come across is exercise science. It's not a major that's offered at every institution, so that's an easy way to narrow down your schools, if you know your major, your GPAs in other ways, what's the school's requirements, do all that stuff, and then promote yourself. Social media, again, is a huge thing. When you're sending emails, like you said, Chase, we get a million emails a day from a lot of recruiting services, and it floods our emails, and a lot of them get lost, so having a subject line that catches our eyes with your height, weight, your GPA, position, where you're from, something like that, that kind of shows us that it's not just that typical recruiting service email is a big thing. But, I grew up in the day and age where I emailed all my coaches for them to see my highlight video. I had one of my friends record it and everything. And nowadays it's just easier. You upload it to Twitter, you put all your stuff on Twitter, and coaches see you and get in contact with you like that. It's real quick. But making sure you have done your research, or if a school reaches out to you that you don't know or never heard of, do your research. Don't be afraid to tell the coach, hey, coach, thanks for reaching out. But I would like to do more research and then reconnect with you. Nobody's going to take that the wrong way. So just making sure you know kind of what you're looking for on both sides, academically and baseball wise, is very important.
Yeah, and two, just to build off that, one thing I was always told going through the recruiting process was you want to, be able to find a school that if baseball doesn't work out, you're going to be happy there, academically, campus-wise, culture-wise, and all that good stuff. I think that's so important when you're trying to find
that's
that.
That's a big thing.
And you talk about, finding that degree too. And I mean, you don't need to have it all figured out going to school, but essentially you want an idea because, baseball, a lot of things can happen, injuries, just a lot of overuse. So you do want to take those things in account when you're looking for that.
Absolutely.
That fit. But, when you're looking for, a recruit, whether it's at the shortstop position, outfield pitcher, whatever it may be, what are some things that stand out to you aside from the talent mold? Because everybody knows you have to be a good player to play college baseball. But what are some things outside of the talent side of things that, help players stand out to you?
Are you saying when we recruit them live, or just as we're getting background from the kid, what stands out to us?
Yeah, I mean, talk a little bit about both. I mean, from the initial, and then once you get to know a kid, and actually, let's talk about first when you first identify a player. Like a GPA, what stands out to you, and then after this, I'll follow up with, what stands out to you when you go see a guy play in person.
Yeah, so when we're doing our background checks, the important stuff to us is the GPA. Is always first and foremost a big thing, especially at a Division III school, because that's going to be where your scholarship comes from and kind of what you qualify. It's very easy for us to know and put you in a range of what you're going to be in line for academically. And then, as we start to dig deeper and we start looking at the individual as a prospect, and we're connecting with them, we want to know how much they love baseball. That's a big thing, and I think it's a very understated thing. A lot of kids say they want to play college baseball until they actually get to start playing college baseball. It's you got to love it. It's a grind, and it's not easy. It's a full-time job, and our head coach makes a very good point all the time when he's talking to recruits. Today, kids know what their friends are doing when they're at the big school at the football tailgate because they have the phones and stuff like that. And back in the day, they didn't. When they played, they just knew what was going on in their bubble. So being able to be happy and like you said, enjoying everything that comes with school outside of baseball as well. Are you going to enjoy the social atmosphere? Are you going to enjoy the academic atmosphere as well? Those are questions we like to make sure we ask kids when we are talking to them and we're talking to the families, and that it's a good fit in that sense, because crazy things happen as you've touched on. Injuries happen, life gets in the way of things, and you just got to make sure you're at a school that you could see yourself at for 4 years if baseball wasn't there as well. But that's the big thing for us when we're doing the background check, and especially when we're talking to high school coaches. We want to know what kind of character you have and what kind of teammate you are and what kind of locker room guy you are, because established programs don't change for the player. They're finding the player that's going to come in and continue what that tradition is, and add to it. And when I say not change, I mean not change in the backwards way, right? But change always happens. Can you come in and change how hard the guy next to you is working? Because that's a big thing. And that's kind of what we're going through right now. We just graduated our shortstop, who's probably going to be a Navy SEAL. That's what he wants to do. And he's going through training and everything. But from the moment he stepped on campus as a freshman, he outworked everybody. And he changed how everybody practiced. We want those kind of guys. You got to have that impact around everybody around your team. You're going to be out there taking the last ground ball, putting stuff away, picking stuff up, being a leader in every way possible. So those are the kind of guys we're looking for sure. And then, like you said, on the part of what we were looking for when we first go out there to see kids, physical on the position player side, obviously athleticism plays. I think athletes that are quick twitch figure it out the quickest, and they might be raw in a sense, not put it all together. And that's kind of, I always say that's the D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO mold. You're looking for those guys that are one step behind, or they're just not as developed as that Division I prospect might be. But in a year or 6 months, when they get to your program, they might be. So projection is a huge thing. On the mound side for us, it strikes over everything. We have the guys that throw hard. We have the guys that throw 92, 93, 94. But if you don't throw strikes, it's not going to matter. Right. So I want the guy that's got the stats to prove that he can throw strikes. The strikeout to walk ratio is of the utmost importance to me, and command of your off speed as well. Can you throw that off speed pitch or that secondary pitch in fastball counts and be able to get outs? And the most underrated thing, and the things that is a lost art in college baseball as well, and even at the Division I level where I was at, is pitching inside. Can you get that fastball inside? Because that changes everything for us. So it's those are just a few things to touch on that we look for when we're going out there to recruit kids in person.
So you talk about a lot about the physicality, and the importance of that. Obviously, weight room and nutrition plays a huge role in that. But for high schoolers looking to play at the next level, what are some things they should start doing in high school to prep for college baseball? Because at the end of the day, college is a different animal.
Yeah. Well, I tell every recruit this. I say, you might come in and be more talented than the older guy in front of you, but the strength plays the biggest factor, especially on the position player side. That junior that's in front of you at second base, shortstop, outfield, he gets jammed on the hands. That's still a single. You come in and you're a scrawny freshman, you get jammed on the hands, it's a bloop out to the shortstop, So closing that gap is of the utmost importance in strength, because it's usually never talent that holds guys back. So being able to focus on the nutrition in the weight room, because you're competing against 22, 23-year-olds, 21-year-olds when you're 18, is the biggest thing. Can you physically match up with that guy in front of you? Can you run as fast? Can you handle that fastball inside? For pitchers, it's a little bit different. When you let go of a fastball and it's 88, nobody knows how old you are, But for the position players, the strength thing plays a huge role. On the pitching side, I think understanding the importance of pitchability and being able to actually understand the game is a huge part, because when we're recruiting guys, that projection, that's kind of what we're dreaming on. But if already know how to pitch, we're excited about you. And that's what we look for. And again, we get the guys that throw hard. We got some guys that come in and might be projects, but the ceiling is way up high. And, we've got a guy in the big leagues from Webster, and he's led the Rays in wins and stuff. And he did not come in throwing 92, 93 miles an hour by any means. He was 82 when he got here, and I wasn't here for it. Our head coach talks about it all the time, but he bought into the weight room. He bought into eating right. And in the blink of an eye, he was throwing 90 miles an hour as a freshman, and so on and so forth. And then he got drafted as the National Pitcher of the Year. So development is huge, and a lot of people talk about it with their universities, but I say this all the time: the best universities that are good every single year are usually good because they get freshmen on the field or new transfers on the field the quickest, because they develop them in that short 6-month span from April to February. And we've been very fortunate to always have freshmen playing for us on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's so important. I want to stay on that. You're talking a lot about development and the importance of that. And I think so many players nowadays are caught up in the D1 or bust phase. And there are so many players who have gotten drafted from a D3, D2 JUCO school who went to a very, very good program who prides themselves on that. Talk about the importance of that. Going to a program that maybe you won't get all the hype on social media from your friends, from strangers, but going to a program that fits you and that's going to get you from here to here.
Yeah. What I love about our guys is we have 43 guys, and every single one of those guys has aspirations to play pro ball. Are they all going to make it? Obviously not. But you should never choose a school just because you think they're going to get you drafted. That's always the longest shot. You should choose a school first and foremost because of academics. Is it a fit for you? What's it going to do for you with life after baseball? And then, development. Are they going to develop you? Do you think that place gives you the best chance to get the most out of your potential, whether that's pro ball or not, but get the most out of what you offer and what you have to give to the game? So those are big things I always tell guys to look into. You're not going to choose Webster because we're going to get you drafted or we have a guy that's in the big leagues. You're going to choose Webster because we win a lot of games. You want a dog pile. You want to learn how to play the game the right way and get developed by, our strength coach. I'm pretty biased, but he came to us by way of the Atlanta Braves as a strength coordinator for them for 12 years, 10 years, and then came to Webster. And he came in 2011. And in 2012, we went to our first World Series. And since then, we just really haven't slowed down. And it's because we bought into the player development side in the weight room, and our guys have closed that gap of strength. And we've got some big guys, man, and they're strong, and they can go and compete with the best of them. And they display that in the spring. And then when they go in the summer and they play in these top leagues against other competition. So, just choosing the right school for the right reasons. I've coached, as you said, I coached at a top 25 Division II school, Quincy, Illinois.
Yep.
They were number one in the country last year. When I was there, we had a 6th-round draft pick and Riley Martin, who's in AAA with the Cubs. And he was a small town kid who he pitched as a freshman there right away. And he was low to or mid to upper 80s. And he just pitched. He knew how to pitch. And that was awesome for him. And one year he found extra velocity and we actually brought in a data analytics guy and kind of pitched to his repertoire a little bit more, and it all just clicked for him, and that's just a success story from another school that's a smaller level, a lower level in the middle of nowhere. And they've had a ton of guys drafted out of there. So choosing the right fit that's going to get the most out of who you are as a person, develop you for life after baseball should be the most important goal. Regardless of division as well. Even at Northwestern, we were recruiting tremendous individuals that were looking to get, obviously Northwestern degree is a big thing, but they also loved baseball, but they also wanted what Northwestern offered to them for life after baseball. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I think that's a big thing that kids can get lost in when they're thinking about what people might think when they post that they're committed to a lower level school on social media and stuff like that. Like, commit where you're going to be proud of, regardless of what other people think, because at the end of the day, you're wearing that jersey with the name on the front, and you got to wear it with pride and represent that university when you're not even wearing that jersey and you're out with friends and at home and stuff. So that's a big thing. You got to make sure you're proud to wear that school no matter what you're doing and where you're going in life, because that degree is going to be on your wall in whatever office or whatever you're doing. So
that's gold right there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I want to give you the keys. Obviously, you just took a position at Webster. And for players, parents, you guys don't know Webster, I advise you look it up because it's beautiful and they got a lot going on for them. But Coach Santiago, I want to give you the chance here to talk about Webster and why players should want to go play at Webster and be a part of the awesome culture you guys have going on there.
Yeah, Webster's in St. Louis, Missouri. Our head coach, Bill Kirch, has been here. I believe this is now his 18th year. We've won the conference in 16 seasons minus COVID. We've won the conference every single year since he's been here. So we have an established tradition of winning. And as Chase has mentioned, we have some of the best facilities in the country. And we play at a professional ballpark that when I played, we used to walk through the front gate, play, and walk out through the front gate. Now we have a partnership that's more of where it's our home park as well. Our name is painted on top of the dugout. We built a $80,000 locker room in there, so guys get to hang out, play ping pong and stuff like that. And they get the best of the best, man. I mean, Rawlings takes great care of us. We have a Division I sponsorship with them. We're head to toe in Rawlings. You get a bat, you get the custom gloves, you get all that stuff. And then you get a tremendous education. We're in Webster Groves, Missouri. It's about 10 minutes outside of the city. It's an unbelievable suburb with a ton to offer. The big thing with Webster that's a big draw for us is we're 4 hours from like 7 major cities. You got Chicago, Kansas City, Nashville, Indianapolis, Memphis, the list goes on, for opportunities with jobs. And if you look at our roster, I think we have one kid this year that's local to the St. Louis area. Everybody else is from all over the place. So 99% of our guys are in grad school or in a job within 6 months of graduating. So the academics are of the utmost importance to us. And we've been to the World Series 4 times. I was fortunate enough to have pitched for one of our World Series teams. And I met some of my best friends here, man, that we talk every single day. The memories, you think it's always the baseball memories, but the memories of just hanging out on a bus or hanging out in the locker room and all that stuff is what I remember from my time here. And this place means a lot to me, and that's why I came back. And this is a place where we can win a national championship, and that's what we're hoping to do. So there's the opportunities on both sides of both baseball and academics is huge here at Webster.
That's fantastic. No, and you guys have such a great thing going, and love everything about, what you guys are doing, not only on the baseball side, but on the academic side. I think it's so important to push that now and get kids set up, on the academic piece, because there will be a day when baseball does come to an end.
Absolutely.
Whether college, pro ball, it's going to come to an end at some point. And so I think it's important for kids to go and just get a great education at just a fantastic school. But Coach, I want to hand you the keys here one last time. Anything you have to say to players looking to play at the next level?
Don't give up on it. There's a place to play for everybody. There's schools and divisions some people haven't even heard of. If you're playing baseball and you love the game, you're going to go where it makes you happy, whether that's club baseball, Division I baseball, anything in between. Just play the game until somebody tells you you can't play anymore. So that's a big thing for me. And, the game owes us nothing. We owe everything to the game. So make sure you're playing the right way every day when you're on the field and giving it your all. And on the recruiting side, do your research, be diligent, and ask the hard questions when you're talking to coaches. Don't be shy. Make sure they know what you want to know, or they tell you what you want to know, and mom and dad's questions are all answered. Because as hard as you may think it may be for you to leave home, it's a lot harder for mom and dad to see their baby go. So just make sure you're going somewhere you're going to love it, and your family is going to be a part of the baseball family just as much as you are. So it's got to be a fit for everybody.
Ask the hard questions. I love it. I love it. Well, Coach, it's been a true pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on today. Everybody,
give me 1 second, Chase. I lost you there. My headphones went out on me there.
No, you're good.
I got you right here. There we go.
Can you hear me?
You got me?
I got you.
There you go.
There it is. I appreciate you coming on today. Everyone, this is Coach Adrian Santiago, recruiting coordinator, pitching coach for Webster. Coach, thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely, Chase. We'll talk soon, buddy. Take care and keep killing it over there, all right?
Absolutely. You too.
All right, man. We'll talk soon.